Look at animation. Being so lazy, so just do this move. What is this move? 뭐지? 이게 뭐지? 이건가? 이건가? 이거잖아 이거. 남고 so lazy. They just use this animation. 이거 너무 성의 없이 만든 거 아니냐? 패치를 하는데 어떻게 성의 없이 요거를 딱 따오지 기술을 정필이 다 너무한 거 아니에요? 남고 being too lazy. 이거는 딱 봐도 상단의 피. 그러니까 개싸움 할 때 대기일 때 그걸 하라는 것 같은데 이런 느낌 아닐까요? 오, 백투 베이직. Shouldn't be tracking. Same shit. 다 똑같은 거 아니야? 아모킹 패치 내용이 정확히 뭐야? 똑같지 않아요? 아모킹 same shit, right? 헤이아치. 캐릭터 하나하나 보려고요. 렛츠고 헤이아치. 양손이야? 뭐야 이거? 그냥 녹화입니다. It's not bug, it's a baby skill. Just frame. 아니 너좀 남고 근데 좀 너무하다. 이것도 다운 거잖아 애니메이션을. 이거 좀 이 정도면은 심심한데 노말이 풀면 뭐야? 이거 애니메이션 왜 이래? 이거 애니메이션. 이거 애니메이션 뭐야? This is Tekken. Tekken 8 애니메이션. This is Tekken. 이거 사람이 어떻게 틀리지? 이게 난 애니메이션이 제가 아침에 이거 본 다음에 이거 애니메이션을 천천히 슬로우 모션으로 봤거든요. 이게 너무 이게 정말 이해가 안 가는 거야. 사람이 이렇게 움직이는 게 뭐지 이게? 캐릭터가 어떻게 이렇게 맞을 거를? 이게 바닥이에요 이게? 와. 원래도 근데 이건 좋은 기술 아니야 근데 이게? 발동 15 근데 회원 못 잡겠죠? 마이너스 8이구나. 마이너스가 크구나. 또 뭐 있냐 바뀐 거? 하쿠나 바뀐 거 뭐 있어요? 하쿠나 바뀐 거 뭐 있음? 오 좋다 이거. 콤보 파츠로 갑자기 콤보를 주네. 하쿠가 브라운에서 이거 준다 보다. 오케이 콤보 이거 상이야? 파츠라면은 이거 원래 뭐였지? 콤보 없었나? 오케이. 아니 이거 뭐라고? 방금 무슨 기술이라고 이거? 백투 베이직 어디 갔어? 백투 베이직은 이렇게 없었던 거 아니야? 이런 이상한 모션들? 백투 베이직! I'm looking at the patch notes next to Tekken screen. I think same shit. 무슨 다 버그 픽스 이슈가 적혀있고 뭐가 없는데? I'm doing it to reinstall Tekken 3. If you don't like season 2, you still don't like season 3. 똑같다. 내가 하는 거랑 똑같네. Everything I play same. 안나 많이 바뀌었다던데. 투 카운트 아까 샀지?
Sorry.
이거 사라. 이거 뭐야 이거? No more? 오케이. 이건 진작에 없었어야지. 야 10프레임이 이게 말이 돼 이게? 캔슬하는 게 말이 안 되는데. 엄청 많이 써있긴 써있다. 신경 쓰도 있네? 뭐야 이거? 어떡하? 진짜 테kken 거지같이 보였다. 뭐야 이게? 아니 대체 무슨 생각을 하고 첫 게임 만드는 거야? While crouching 마이너스 12 마이너스 12 오케이 마이너스 12 12 썼어야지 12 오케이 카운터 히트 3차 카운터 히트가 바뀌었나 보네. 뭐야 이거 좀 큰데? 이 심리가 이제 안 된다는 거잖아. 진짜 근데 안나 인게이지 뭘로 키냐 그러면? 무조건 이걸로 해야 되네. 이러면 진짜 인게이지가 빡세다. 어우 나이스. 안나가 이러고 있네 한동안. 근데 근데 이거는 그동안 너무 그러긴 했어. 너무 후딜 적긴 했어. 안나 이 정도인데요? 그 다음에 아스카 있어. 웰스 넘버 비치. 넘버 원 비치.
Number one bitch.
왜 아래로 캔슬 안 돼? 아래라는데? 왜 아래로 같이 안 되지? 뒤밖에 안 돼요? 커맨드 폰은 아래도 있다는데? 아, 마키고 이행이라고? 아, 그렇네. 아니, 진짜. 아니, 진짜. 나 데미지, 뭐야, 이거. 아, 여기다가 왼손 누르면은 아스카가 삿대질 한대요. 야, 아스카 삿대질 터치했다. 이거하고 왼손 누르면은 손가락질합니다. 훌륭한 패치야. 와우, 시즌 3 나이스. 뭐, 이거 모션 바꿨다는데? 하고, 아, 멀어지네. 아, 오케이. 이게 더워더. 일단 이거 데미지 줄었고 맞으면은 와일 크라우칭, 아, 홀드. 아, 10 데미지 now 6. 이런 식으로 플러스 12, now 6. 6으로 줄었대요. 그리고 29편 약간 늘어졌대, 이거. 슬로워. 오케이. 이거 콩뎀 줄었고, 이거 똑같고, 아스카 스틸 피치, 넘버원 피치, 펑펑. 아니, 바뀐 게 없어, 아스카가. 브로. 이거 아직도 콤보 아니야? 스틸 콤보. 이거 스틸 콤보. 이것도 콤보. 똑같잖아. Same shit. 야, 새 시즌이 맞아, 이거? Is this new season? We call it new season. 아니, 기술이 하나둘 추가했는데 이게 새로운 시즌이요? 그냥 시즌 2 같은데, 그냥? 이거 그냥 시즌 2에서 중간에 나올 법한 패치잖아, 이 정도는. I'm pretty sure there are already, complain already on Twitter, whatever. 얘도 뭐 있다는데, 지금 기술? 와우, look 애니메이션. 나 진짜, 뭐야, 이게 진짜로. 이게 철권이냐? 아, 나 진짜, 나 이런 거 보면 기분이 굉장히 안 좋아져. 이게 뭐야, 이게. 아니, 애니메이션이, 라시드의 모션이면 이해가 가. 라시드는 원래 좀 까불까불 하는 애들이니까 이게 이해가 가는데 이 철권에 들어올 게 애니메이션이야? 뭔 정신으로 게임을 만드는 기분이 안 좋아지네요, 진짜로. 철권 왜 패치될 때만 나는 기분이 안 좋을까? 저게 버프라고? You move.
Fuck Jack.
뭐야 이거? 야, 얘는 왜 플러스 4에 안 쓴다세요? 나도 드라곤 놓고 숨겨서 플러스 4에 안 쓴다세 주라 그냥. 아, 이거 기가스구나. 아, 기가스 애니메이션? 아, 진짜 짜증나 죽겠네. 철권이 저를 싫어지고 있어. 도대체 무슨 생각을 하길래 시즌3 패치를 기다리는 사람이 많은 걸 알 텐데 무슨 생각하길래 애니메이션 그냥 갖고 온 거지? 이게 무슨 생각이야, 이게? 왜 이럴 거면 추가를 하지 마, 그냥 기술을. 이게 뭐야? 이러면 그냥 철권 7, 6, 5, 태그 1 다 가져와, 그냥. 뭐야, 이게? 이거 기가스 복사 못 쳐넣기잖아, 기술이. 그거. 슬래지가 좋아졌어요. 아, I think Tekken 8 Season 3 this patch very awesome. 오, 아, 이거 봐라, 그거냐, 설마? 야, 이거 그거야? Look at this. Really? I'm curious. Probably. Shouldn't be no. No. Shouldn't be no. 와. Yo, what the?
This
Back to
laugh is
basic.
contagious.
Yeah, basic Tekken. Yo, back to basic. Bro, full one and full combo. I win, bro. Whatever. GG handshake, bro. 뭐야 이게? GG. Shake my hand, bro. 아니 이게, 아니 너무한 거 아니? 아 뭐야 이게 진짜로? 필드 카운터라도 지어진 확정? 아, 필드 카운터가 더 볼 때린다고? 히트 때 이거야? 와, 58이야? 잠깐만. 히트만 되는 거지? 58 히트 때? 아니 근데 이게 바닥을 왜 깨? 이거 왜 바닥이 왜 깨냐고 이게. 안 그래도 주력기잖아. 원원은 아니겠죠 설마. 아니 이거 안 하냐. 이건 원래 달랐으니까 모션이. 똑같네. 이게 뭐야? Look at this shit. 그 다음에
Yeah, that's outrageous.
지는 저걸로 뭐지? 이유모브가 얘는 히트에 있는데? 뭐야 이건 또? 아 진짜 하기 싫게 생겼어 철권 진짜로. 개 초딩 같아. 아 철권 진짜.
초딩 같아?
트래시 패치에 어웠어. 아니 나는 뭔가 자꾸 이런 플러스 2가 문제가 아니라 히트기가 문제가 아니라 자꾸 이런 기술들을 추가를 하냐고. 여기서 왜 추가를 왜 하냐고. 그럼 철권 다음 시즌 어떻게 되는 줄 알아? 여기에 또 추가가 또 생겨요. 어? 지금 시즌 3랑 하나 둘이지 시즌 4는 하나 둘 셋 뭐가 생겨요. 그럼 시즌 5는 하나 둘 캔슬 또 생겨요. 왜 게임을 그렇게 하냐고. Back to basic. This is awesome patch animation. 그 다음에 what else? During hit. 아예 월스플 안 된다고 이거. 그 다음에 1, 2, 4. 이거 뭐 맞으면 바뀌었다니 애니메이션? 아 2, 1, 4요? 백투 베이직. 야 진짜 진정한 백투 베이직이다. 이거 딱 하나 찾았다. 백투 베이직. 온리 백투 베이직 무. 아니 드라 똑같잖아. 드라 똑같고 다 똑같은데. 푸시와이 플레이. 렛츠 유즈 드라 뉴 무브. 신기술. 아니 참. 신기술은 후원입니다. 파랑 똑같겠죠? 파랑 트렌시. 뭐 아니 똑같잖아 드라곤 로프야. 이거 캐릭이 그냥 이거 하나야 그냥? 드라곤 로프 쌤. 뭐야 저게. 아니 뭐야. 10인가? 이거 뭐 개짧다. 아 짧은데 그냥. 뭐야.
아, 손가락 아파. 게임 못했어.
콤보.
이제
바로 포포.
But I can guarantee you that many of those changes they would not have altered because that was what they wanted the game to be. And I was telling people this from day one. In fact, the whole meta of Tekken 8 was originally designed. Let me break it down to you. Remember when we had this whole back to basics things? My belief, was basically going back to a point where movement, backdashing away, making your opponent whiff and punishing, that's pretty much what people have come to know Tekken as, at least at higher levels. But in Tekken 8, what they really wanted to do was they wanted you to utilize the armor attack to bulldoze your way through your opponent's aggression. And I did a video on this as well, where I gave the example of a boxer, where for instance, I'm sitting down, so you're gonna have to excuse this. So that's like, if you're a boxer and you're shelling up, right? You're basically going here, blocking your body, whatever. You're shelling up. You're technically being defensive, but you're not being aggressive. It's not an aggressive defense, it's more passive. Aggressive defense is more like, okay, you're gonna slip, roll, counter, or you pick off the jab, catch counter, or there's different things, but you're utilizing a defensive mechanic to launch your offense. More times within the same within the beat or the half beat. It's a boxing reference. Don't worry if you don't understand it. So that's the main reason why armor attacks were changed in Tekken 8, because honestly, I used to compete in Tekken 7 a lot, and I can tell you armor attacks was not something I seen that often in tournament or even online, largely because it just really there wasn't much payoff for it, and the risk was, the attacks that you do tank, it's permanent damage. That's why when they made the change in Tekken 8, I kind of started to realize slowly that, okay, this is what they want. Because while you're doing all this offensive pressure, and they basically, I guess you could say, nerfed sidesteps and movement, which is what many people complained about in Season 1 and even Season 2, what they wanted you to do was use your armor attacks to basically take the hit, and land yours. That way, and then the reward was you getting a heat engager. So now the tide has shifted in your favor. Now you're on the offensive, but people couldn't stand it, and then Namco removed it. They removed the heat engager aspect off of the armor attacks. So that basically, that wasn't something that they originally wanted. They originally wanted you to use your armor attacks because that's the reason why they altered it. So I'm saying all of this to pretty much illustrate the changes that has gone on. And something else that I want to say is a term that I don't think many are familiar with, and that is pattern recognition. And the pattern that I have seen when it has come with Tekken 8 is that I was not going to expect this game to be fixed. And I should say air quotes, because there are people that enjoy Tekken 8. Shinblade, for instance, I'll keep calling on him. He's a great example of somebody who enjoys Tekken 8. He enjoys the game for what it is. I do not. But the point is that there's an old saying where it says, what you eat don't make me shit. If you've ever heard this. It's basically like, I may not like it, but you might like it. You know what I'm saying? And whether or not I don't like it has no bearing on you, and vice versa. We can just agree to disagree. And I think that's the more mature thing to recognize, that I think and feel that Tekken 8, when it comes to a round 1 fight, it's dog shit when it comes to the mechanics. Characters can be tweaked, characters can be patched, nerfed, buffed, but the mechanics of Tekken 8 is absolute shit as far as I'm concerned. If you are one of those people that do enjoy the game as it is, God bless you, Maker bless you. I am not among you. I am not. However, I will say that Tekken 8 is a financial success. I believe they have broke even. I do believe that they are earning. So on that front, you can't say that the game itself is this bad game that's not making money, because it is. But for me, it's just not a game that I am willing to engaging in. And I know I've been all over the place with this video, but like I said, this is more of a closure video for me. What I will say also, another thing that Shinblade mentioned, and I 100% agree with him on this, is when it comes to content creators. So let me talk to the content creators. There are people that are of main man and low margin size, you know, the 300,000. These are guys that they make a substantial amount of money streaming and providing content for Tekken 8. I don't fault anybody for doing what they got to do to feed their family or to get their bag, you know what I'm saying, on YouTube. However, for tiny channels like myself, this game, playing this game, it's not worth it for me. Initially, I was doing it because I wanted clicks and views, because I was trying to get my channel monetized, right? But now that my channel is monetized, and I did gain a lot of subscribers from playing Tekken, my suffering streams, I feel like at this point, I put in my time for Tekken 8. I have, the last I checked on my Xbox profile, I have 75 days worth of time spent on Tekken. So do the math. That's 75 times 24. That's just a rough estimate. That's how much time I put in.
Get ready for the next battle.
I bought the game at launch. I bought the Season 1 DLC. I bought a few nicknames for the characters. Leather outfits. So I put my time in the game. I've used Raven. It's just not worth it for me. But people that bitch and complain about the game, that, you know, video after video, they're shitting on Tekken 8, but yet so they're still playing the game. I will call them hypocrites. Because at the end of the day, nobody is forcing anybody to play what they don't like. And if you're shitting on the game on the one hand, and then you're making videos on each and every character based on, this is why this character's trash, this is why this character's trash, that's hypocritical. I can't really respect that. And I think that's one of the things that Shinblade was kind of getting at, and I agree with him. I would respect those people more if they would just kind of come out and say, look, I'm just doing it for clicks and views. Because I've done it. I've seen many people in my channel. I've said it in live streams. I've literally said something along the lines of, I'm only live streaming this game for clicks and views. I'm only doing this for entertainment. I'm not playing this game because I think it's good. I'm not playing this game because I like it. I think this game is trash. But I'm doing it because you guys are here. I don't even my largest live stream was like 81 people or something like that. And people enjoy watching Tekken. There are people that still love the game. I'm not one of them. And I put my time into this game, and I'm pretty much done. I think the only thing that I could see myself doing when it comes to Tekken 8 is reporting on significant news. Like, for instance, if Michael Murray were to get fired, or if, you know, it was on Tekken 9, or the removal of Heat, or what I've suggested, and maybe a few other people, giving the option of heat usage, where I've even dubbed it as Tekken Cold and Tekken Heat, right? Because you know what heat is for Tekken. Cold, just a play on words, basically Tekken 8 without heat, because that's what cold is. It's the absence of heat from an astrophysics standpoint. So I feel like if they were to do something like that, that's newsworthy for me being a content creator / streamer. I don't see myself streaming this game. I don't see myself doing that. I thought about it, but you know, and maybe I would gain a few subscribers. But I really don't want my channel to be fixated on Tekken 8, especially as it is right now. I think this game, for me, is dog shit when it comes to the punches and kicks. I would give the devs all, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, just for reference, I would give the devs their due that Tekken 8 did launch in a relatively finished state when compared to games like Dead or Alive 6, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Battlefield 5, Street Fighter 5, and a couple of games that launched in a very poor state. Tekken 8 launched very well. They have a solid
What
netcode,
happened to
especially when I
Tekken 8?
compare my time with Tekken 6, Tekken 7, and Tekken Tag 2. So they do have a solid neck. They need to fix the cheating situation though, but I think netcode wise, I think they're good. The story is solid. The graphics are next generational.
Gotta
I
stop
think
one and dunning.
it's definitely a generational leap. The practice mode is one of the best I've played. So there are things about Tekken 8 as a game that is very, very strong. But when it comes to the mechanics of the fighting aspect, for me, it's absolutely horrific and trash. So much so that it has basically just, I've lost all desire to play this game. And I endured. I endured season 1. I endured season 2. I did a stream before I got sick where I gave my initial thoughts on Raven. I feel he's still a trash character, based on what they gave him was a fucking joke. But I'm sure some of the more prominent Raven users, they'll probably cope and tell themselves otherwise. Or maybe I might be proven wrong, but based on what I saw from Raven, it's just, I can definitely see a different play style you can adopt, but when comparing him to what these other characters have, it's an uphill battle, and it's not worth it. But I'm not going to get too much deep in the weeds with Raven or anybody specifically. But yeah, I think I've touched on everything. My aim with this video was just to really just express my thoughts on the game as it currently stands. I wasn't going to, maybe you count this as a rant, but I wasn't going to be out of control. Even if I was 100% healthy, which I'm not, I'm about, I'd say a good 90% over my illness. But this game, it is no longer worth my emotions. It's no longer worth it. This game, and as I've said from the very beginning, this game, the developers had a mandate for this game, and it was not for players like myself. It was not for OGs like me. This game was for people who wanted a party game. This was a game that made for those people, those casuals. And when I say casuals, and I just want to try to touch on everything in this video, when I say casuals, I am not necessarily meaning to the low-level scrubs alone. I'm also talking about players that have no idea who Red Related is. They have no idea who a main man Swede. They don't know who Knee is. They don't know Shinblade. They don't know Fighting GM. They don't know Anakin. They don't know Incognito. They don't know any of the elite OG level players. They don't even know any of the main content creators, right? Mike Hollow, Main Man, and so on.
Damn,
I'll even throw in Fiddy X and what's the name? The D All the Way. I'll even throw him in there because he's on his grind as well. Many of these players, and I think the hardcore community don't recognize that these people exist. That these are players, and I've said this before many times, they literally log into the game, they mash their buttons, they log time they really get news about the game is maybe that little message of the day that's in the main menu, and they may follow something on Namco, the official, but they're probably not on YouTube to that degree where you're watching every video, every update. It's not those players. That's the type of people that the developers were aiming for, where they were trying to increase their total addressable market, their TAM, T-A-M. So I'm not surprised by these revelations, by the direction of Tekken 8. I will just say that it does put some pressure on them for Season 4.
Can we get some water?
But we'll see. I do have the belief that Tekken 8 will have a few more seasons. I do believe perhaps around Season 4 or 5, they're probably going to start work on Tekken 9. Because usually these games take a couple of years to actually create. I do feel that Virtua Fighter 6 and Dead or Alive 7, they need to be out.
Can we get some water?
Because we need competition in this space. I've said that as well. But I've also made a few videos about the upcoming DOA 6.1, as I call it. I've been calling it a cash grab because it is. And I've been fighting with a fool who overestimates what he knows. advising what they would do with my character, it's not something that I think I would be in line with. I think the initial hype, right, is, if they would ever reveal him, I'd be excited like everybody that had got their character. I'm no different. I would like to use my character. But I think the game itself, it's just so bad that the hype would more like be like a morphine shot. It would eventually fade away, and the pain that the morphine was blocking is still there. It's just dumb. It's just numbed out. And that's kind of how I would look at Tekken 8, even if they did bring my character in. I would be very tempted to make content to help other aspiring lay players. I can't say that I wouldn't feel the need or the drive to do that, but since I already know the characters that's set to show up for Season 3, I have zero desire for any of these characters. So it also makes it much easier for me to walk away from this game right now, because you have the characters that's showing up, I have no interest in any of them. The mechanics of this game is absolute shit. I do not give them credit for removing Heat Smash Wall Splat. That was something that should have never been in the game in the first place. So that lets me know that these people, they really don't know what they're doing when it comes to balancing this game from a character standpoint and a mechanical standpoint. They just don't. So I don't have that confidence at all. Maybe some of you still do. Me, I don't. And then, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm close to the hour mark. I guess, hey, if you're enjoying the game, kudos to you. But I'm just not one of those people. And, I've already pretty much uninstalled the game already. I have nothing else to really talk about when it comes to this game, unless it's significant news. But as far as playing it, people, like I've had a few subscribers mention it in my comment section saying, hey, if you don't like the game, don't play it. I've heard Shinblade say it a few times, and they're right. They're right. Why am I playing something I don't like? I will say this. I was very passionate about the game, very rageful. I felt bitter. I felt varying emotions when it came to this game because I wanted this game to be different. But now realizing that it's like I was very torn, and I wanted something out of the game that, quite frankly, I'm not going to get. So it just makes all the sense just to say fuck this game, and wish those who continue to play the game, wish you guys the best. I will understand if many of you want to unsubscribe from my channel. If I know many of you found me through Mike Hollow's stream, many of you found me through my streaming of raging out playing this game and almost blacking out on live streams at times, which I kind of kept to myself. It's just not worth it. So for those of you that watch this, that decide to unsubscribe, that's fine. I accept it for what it was. But many of you that decide to rock out with me in my future content, where I'm talking about more gaming related news, there's a lot of things going on with Microsoft, for instance, with PlayStation. There's other notable games that's coming out. Hopefully you guys will support me on that. But if you guys were only around for Tekken, then I guess, if that's all you guys want, then I will expect in the next coming days my subscriber base to dwindle. And I'll know why. Because I have no desire to play this fucking game. And I'm not going to be those hypocritical people that are making videos on this is why Raven's this is why Nina is that, this is why Brian Fury is. Fuck all that.
Come on. Why do you gotta lag?
But then again,
Man, you just
for
play
me,
the freaking
it's not
game,
worth it
man.
for me. But maybe if I had a larger channel, like I think, for instance,
Yeah.
Fighting GM, Shinblade, and Mike Hollow, I think their channels are relatively the same size, I believe. They're able to profit from their live streams and making those type of videos. And I think unfortunately, I haven't spoken to GM in many years, but I think he likes the game. I know Shinblade likes it. I think Mike Hollow, I think he's not a fan of the changes. And then when you look at other channels like Main Man and Lil Majin, they're similar because I think they're in the 300 range. I think Lil Majin, I think he's enjoying the game. Main Man has already made a video about him pivoting. I don't know if he's going to really follow through with that, but we'll see. But for me, it's not worth, even if I were to get a few subscribers from playing the game or streaming the game, it's not worth it for me. It's not worth my mental health. Especially when I absolutely hate the mechanics of the game. Like I said, there are aspects of Tekken 8 I think that are great, and things that I wish other fighting games would mirror, like their practice mode. I think Tekken 8 has one of the best practice modes on the market, but those mechanics gotta go, or be 100% overhauled, which are not. I don't think they are, or at least giving players an option, like they did with Tekken Tag, where they gave you the option of either doing 1v1s or playing a tag. But I don't see that happening because that will really go against what Namco wanted with this game. I think at this point I'm just repeating myself. So, but yeah, this is my very first video back from being ill. I think in the future you guys can look forward to me talking more about the changes going on with Microsoft. I think we have some news coming out about PlayStation. I think right now I think they're going to be rebranding the PlayStation Network, which many people, including myself, think that Sony may raise prices when it comes to their services. There's a potential rumor that Microsoft may seek a bit of a partnership, a strategic alliance, if you will, with Netflix in integrating an aspect of Netflix with Game Pass. I think that would be huge. Right now, I think that's a rumor at this point. So there's many games, lots of news that I have interest in covering. There's games I have interest in playing, like Diablo 4. I've been playing that game. For instance, I've been sick for about a week. Ironically, I got sick the day before Season 3 actually dropped. So think of that, right? Just to kind of give that context, I started at that time, I had about 5 days worth of playtime, no, 4 days worth of playtime with Diablo 4, and now I'm approaching 8 days. So basically in the week that I've been sick, I've played Diablo 4 for about 4 days worth of time. I mean, that's insane. But I think I will make my own video on my own time and talk about why I like Diablo and all that stuff. I think that's well worth a video. But anyway, I think it really just depends on who's going to rock out with me. I know that there's a few already that will. But to some of you that found me,
Oh boy.
it's
JV.
cool. But then again, I will, I don't want to say never. We'll see. But if there's major news coming out about Tekken 8, I will cover it. But in terms of me playing the game, I'm playing it. Anyway, I guess that's about it. I don't want the video to go too long. It's almost an hour, so that's about it. Okay, salute.
Pooh. Why am I sucking so bad? Damn.
Get ready for the next battle.
Didn't you fight this thing before?
Yeah, it's tougher now. Cecil sent it after me.
Cecil? Why would he do that?
There's so much you don't know, Mark.
What? Okay, maybe you can fill me in after we've taken care of tentacles here.
I want to thank you, Mark. Really. You know, it's not often I get to cut loose
Get
like
ready
this.
for the next
There
battle.
are so many mission parameters, so many things not to destroy, people not to kill. But for whatever reason, and I don't
Round one. Fight.
Ah, tá. Olha.
식당에는 멀쩡한
Ah,
우리가 마음대로 가는
ah, tá. Tinha. Easy peasy. Oh crap. Ah, bullshit. Panic. How did he know that?
벌써 시간 1분 다 돼가는데
That's
결국 세븐 말이 됐죠. 네, 여기까지. 아, 여기판
Easy peasy.
Get ready for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle. Round one. Fight.
That shit just happened. About a reaction, you would think.
Kazuyami Shima. Devil Jin. Get ready for the next battle. ready for the next battle. Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight. Round three. Fight. Round four. Fight. Final round. Fight.
Yes.
Round two. Fight.
Ah.
Round 4. Fight. Final round. Fight. Get ready for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle.
Uh,
Get ready for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle. Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight. Round three. Fight. Round four. Fight. ready for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle. Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight.
You have to watch the entirety of this video. Not only are you going to be going over the cycles that he's taken, I'm going to be going over the visual evidence of the changes, the altercations that have been made, and to show you that he's at much greater risk than the majority of people. Coach Greg, in today's video, a 16-year-old boy abusing SARMs who needs our help. He, above anyone else, needs to be careful, and so just because your blood work may in fact look normal, upon a visual inspection of his physique, it is more telling than ever before. Coach Colton interviewed this young man at the Honor Classic and posted his video.
Are you natural or not?
I'm on SARMs.
Can you tell me which ones?
So there's a stack with Beast, and it has LGD, YK11, MK, I think 28, 6, and then has Rad 140 in it.
Okay. Why not inject testosterone, for example?
Because I'm 16 years old.
Okay.
I don't need it right now.
You compete in anything?
Powerlifting.
How old are you?
16.
All right, baller dude.
He's 16 years old, and so he says he doesn't need testosterone. Well, guess what? You also don't need SARMs. Now, he is a very strong powerlifter. He's competitive. His goal is to, in fact, compete at the highest level. And I've been talking to him in the DMs, trying to convince him to stop using performance-enhancing drugs. Now, prior to this interview,
My eyes.
DM me, do I get a video? I'm 15. And he later wrote, hey Greg, clearly he wants us to do a video. He wants to be
Aye.
for using
My
and
eyes.
performance-enhancing drugs.
What a
He's
coincidence.
far too young. He knows this. You know this. Everybody knows this. I don't think there's a single person in this world that thinks that teenagers should be using steroids, SARMs, whatever. And so I asked him, can you explain exactly what you're taking? And so he writes, I do pre-workouts, creatine, amino acids, and SARMs, which I am safe. As soon as you add the word you're taking SARMs, you are not safe. Those two words do not go together. He says that he's safe because, get this, he cycles off, does a PCT, a full cycle therapy, and he gets his testosterone levels back into the normal range. Now, just because you cycle on and off doesn't mean that you're safe. That would be like saying, hey, I use Tren, but only for 3 months of the year, and so I'm safe. My testosterone comes back. When you're 15 or 16, sure, it's going to bounce back for now, but you are continuing to do damage every time that you use those SARMs. And remember, it's not just one SARM, it's many. More recently, remember, it's not his first rodeo, it's not his first cycle. Most recently, he's done the following. When I did get blood work, I was on SARMs at the time. Also, I do a little dose of Rad 140, also do LGD, YK11, MK2866, and S23. 5 SARMs all at the same time. And so, how is it possible that he's doing this safe? That would be like somebody on a Saturday night saying, I'm extremely safe. I'm visiting my friend Molly. She's such a sweet gal. And I'm sniffing creatine. I'm taking vitamin K. And I'm doing some math. It's very safe, trust me. It can't be safe. And he states, get this, you probably thought he was doing 5 or 10 milligrams, all at 15 milligrams. All at the same time. That's 5 times 15, that's 75 milligrams in total of SARMs. That is a very hefty dose. It's far greater than I've ever done in my entire life. And remember, I competed as an IFBB pro. And so a 16-year-old is abusing SARMs more so than I was, and I was in my 40s. This isn't safe. I don't care what the blood work says. He didn't have his blood work available to send me. I would have been able to go over it in a video, but he assures me that everything is perfect, that it's safe. Don't believe it. I don't believe that this is safe. I don't believe that if he posted his blood work and if I were to do a video on this, that it would be anything close to being safe. Just because your testosterone levels are able to go back up into the normal range following a cycle doesn't mean that you're in fact healthy. What is your blood pressure? Even if his blood work was not horrendously bad, what about the blood pressure? Or what about all of the other signs? Let us examine the visual evidence, what he is presenting. Upon first glance, I'm thinking he has perhaps suffered from a...
In today's video, I'm talking about 8 shocking benefits of saturated fat. I know what you're thinking. Saturated fat, how could that be healthy for us? Well, in previous videos, I have gone through the research in detail and showed you that saturated fat is not a causative agent of heart disease like we've all been told. And saturated fat actually can have really amazing health benefits. Now, not for everybody though. There are certain individuals with certain issues, perhaps maybe poor bile flow or certain...
Hello, Whole Champions. Today we're going to talk about what would happen if you ate more saturated fat for 30 days. And I know what you're saying at home. That's just crazy. Why would anyone do that? And after all, everyone knows how bad that is. And that's a dangerous statement. Say that everyone knows, as if that made it true. If something's been repeated often enough that we believe it, doesn't make it right. And we've been told on so-called nutrition labels how bad certain things are. So the one thing, the worst of all, is calories. And even though every other species besides human gets up every day and tries to find enough calories, enough food to survive, for some reason, calories apparently are dangerous to humans. That's why they're in such bold script at the top of the label. And then in order, the next worst thing is total fat and saturated fat. Of course, saturated fat goes along with cholesterol, and in a single tablespoon of butter, we've already had more than a third of all the saturated fat our bodies supposedly can tolerate in a day. And the next thing is cholesterol, and then of course sodium. And on every one of these, we got it completely backwards. But what if almost everything you've ever been told about fats in general, and specifically about saturated fat, what if it's not just wrong, but what if it actually makes you sick? What if it causes disease? And what if the key to better heart health, better brain health, better immunity is to eat not less fat, but more of the right types of fat? And what if saturated fat is one of the right types of fat? And I know this is hard to believe because we've been told for so long, so many times, how bad saturated fat is. But I want you to compare this to some other things that we were told, such as cigarettes are healthy for you. Camel is the brand of cigarettes most recommended by doctors until we found out that cigarettes actually kill you. And then we were told that butter is so bad, but margarine is really healthy until we found out that it kills you. Almost as bad as cigarettes, actually. And for decades, we've been told how good medications are, how necessary they are for human health, and how safe they are. Even though humans have lived for hundreds of thousands of years without any medication, without any chronic disease, all of a sudden, it's like we need these medications and they're oh so safe, until they're not so safe anymore, and the companies are being forced to pull them from the market and they end up with multi-billion-dollar lawsuits because they kill people. And I think a big reason we get these things so backwards is we don't understand what health is. We don't understand what it means to support a body. We have developed a world that is so contrary to what our bodies need, and then we think that the people we call health experts know anything about health, when in fact they are sickness experts. Most of the people in the so-called healthcare field are medical doctors, and they're trained in sickness. And there's nothing wrong with that, because sometimes people get sick. But we have to understand they're trained in sickness, and we can't ask them about health in terms of how to take care of our health, because they're not trained in that. And as a consequence, we have a so-called healthcare system that's actually a sick care system that in the United States spends almost $5 trillion a year, and yet people get sicker and sicker and sicker. We have more diabetes, we have more autism, we have more Alzheimer's, dementia every year, because we're not addressing health. We're not supporting health. So for decades, we've also been told that saturated fat and cholesterol causes heart disease, cardiovascular disease. Well, today we also know that that is wrong. They got that one backwards as well. And even though we know today what the true causes are, and that saturated fat is not the problem, there is little doubt about how it really works. The message has not changed. And the reason is that change is difficult. It requires learning. It's much easier just to keep doing the same thing we've always been doing. And especially if there are monetary interests. If there are people making money on not changing, it's going to be very difficult. And that's why I think the change is coming. There is absolutely no doubt it's inevitable. But it's probably going to take another 2 generations. And the reason is that most people don't change. We have to have old people die off and new people being born who learn a new truth from the beginning and then take it for granted. So in the meantime, you can stick your head in the sand and believe the dogma, or you can learn the truth and help spread that message. If you eat more saturated fat for 30 days, what you probably find is you get better brain function. And why is that? Because the brain is perhaps the most complicated thing ever devised in the world. And it has a very complex structure. And for that structure, it has cell membranes. And saturated fats are a critical, integral part of these cell membranes. Another critical component of these cell membranes are cholesterol.